Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and on the podcast today, numbers don't lie. We are going to be talking about the numbers that you should be paying attention to in your business. This is coming off the back of a very challenging year for a lot of people. And as I spoke about in a recent episode of the podcast, I believe we have a global financial crisis that is right on our doorstep. This is the time for you to start thinking about how you can get across the numbers that will tell you whether you're in good financial health or shitty financial health and how you need to fix that. But the financials are not the only numbers that you need to be paying attention to right now. So we will take a look and explore what some things are that will tell you how you can prepare. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on podcast listening apps if you are listening to it, and on our YouTube channel if you are watching, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time we release an episode. We really appreciate all of your support. And we appreciate the support of our episode sponsor, Baratza. If you are in the market for a grinder for your specialty coffee manual brewing journeys and endeavors, go ahead and click on the link in our show notes and find a Baratza grinder today. It is because of companies like Baratza who support our podcast that the content is available for free. It takes a lot of effort to make this podcast happen. We release an episode every day during the week. And as you can imagine, that takes a lot of time. So thank you to Baratza for always supporting Map Forward. So numbers don't lie. It is always surprising to me how little business owners and employees in the coffee industry know about how to assess whether a business is operating in a healthy way or if it is running insolvent. So what that means is, if you can read the different financial statements that are available to you, balance sheets and profit and loss statements, cash flow statements, if you know how to read those documents or those reports, it will tell you if you are spending more money than you're making. It will tell you if you're profitable. It will tell you if your cost of goods are too high. It will tell you if you have enough assets that if the business gets into real trouble, you can sell those assets or reduce your liabilities so that you can perhaps make the company more cash flushed and you can solve some problems. What those reports tell you is if you're financially healthy or not, or if you're headed for trouble. And as I said, they're not the only numbers that you should be paying attention to in business or as an employee of a coffee-focused business. The other kinds of numbers that you should be looking at are things like your sales conversion rates. But you wouldn't know what your sales conversion rates are if you don't have a customer acquisition plan. Now, your customer acquisition plan is there to tell you what your strategy is for bringing in new customers into your business for specific campaigns. We're in November. Now is a time for you to start looking at 2022 and saying, what are going to be the campaigns that I'm going to run every month or every quarter to bring new customers into the business? That will keep the business growing. Also, how am I going to look at my current business customers and retarget them to keep them purchasing from the business? Now, the way that we do that is through a customer acquisition plan. It is through a retargeted customer plan. This is all about marketing and sales. When you know what your goals are around sales and around conversion rates, then you can start measuring them. You can start figuring out, well, okay, I need to make this much money from this campaign, which means I need this many customers to buy from me through this campaign. And if I know that a well-constructed customer acquisition plan, I can expect about a 2% conversion rate as a starting rate. If I need 2 customers, that means I have to market this campaign to 100 people. But if I need 200 people to buy off me, I have to market this campaign to 100 times that. So that means additional Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing or meta marketing, or whatever we call this new company that they've got. But the idea is that you have a strategy that you can measure. Now, you may think, this all sounds a little bit too complicated. If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that there are not enough companies out there in our industry that are being strategic enough about their sales plans and their marketing plans and their conversion rates. They are just throwing shit up against the wall and hoping it sticks. And that's not good enough anymore. It's not good enough given the last 2 years that we've been through. It's not good enough given the logistical issues and supply chain constraints and inflation that we're currently experiencing. It's not good enough given the global financial crisis that is at our doorstep. If you're going to survive this, you've got to be strategic about it. And if you're going to be strategic about it, that means understanding your numbers. If you need help with that, come see Map It Forward. We can easily help you with that. If you don't want help with that, some resources that I would suggest is that you start watching some YouTube videos that will help you understand how to read financial statements that make a difference to your business. Start looking online for different marketing strategies, which I got to tell you, years ago when I started, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I started learning about this stuff and trying to apply it to my own businesses, it kind of melted my brain because marketing people are trying to teach you about marketing. I'm not a marketing person. I'm a small business development person. I'm a small business owner. I am well versed in the coffee industry. And so trying to get my head around this weird speak that marketing people have didn't make sense to me. So it was hard work. But understanding how to look at all the different analytics is important. Should you be using Google Analytics? Should you be using SEMrush? Should you be using any of the other myriad Href and all these other places that are out there that are supposedly going to tell you how much traffic you're driving through your SEO to your website? How much passive traffic are you generating through ranking your blog posts? And are your blog posts fitting into your passive marketing attempts? It takes a lot to learn this stuff. So pace yourself, try and understand what it is that you need to understand and figure it out. Because if you don't figure it out, you're not going to be able to survive in business for an extended period of time. You might be able to be successful in the short term because you're new and you're exciting and everyone wants to try a new business. But then the next new business comes along. And that's the point that you've got to figure out, well, how do I activate a customer acquisition plan and how do I activate a retargeting plan for my current customers who have bought from me before? How do I bring them back, or how do I get them upselling? All of these kinds of things are important. Please learn the numbers. And if we can help, you know how to get in contact with us. Head to the show notes. The details are all there. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.